So first off, why don't you talk a little bit about your characters and tell us a little bit about who you're playing in the film and set up the premise for us.
Andrew, take it away.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we don't need ladies first. All right, let's go. I play Captain Richie. Oh my God, what a charming individual. Great smile. He wears a cool hat, and he's a duck boat tour guide. Now, Captain Richie, he's not really looking for love. You know what I mean? He's not that guy that's out there just searching, going on Tinder dates, Bumble, Grinder, whatever these kids are using nowadays. He's just out there living his life, doing his little tour guide thing. Then boom, love walks on his job, and he's like, "Whoa, what is this?" He feels a little feeling in his heart. He doesn't know what it is, and he wants to get to explore this love a little bit more. But then she vanishes. So what does Captain Richie do? He goes searching for her. Does he find her? Does he find true love? Who's to know? But we'll find out December 4th.
I can't follow that up. Jesus.
That's a tough one to follow.
I mean, it's a beautiful, autumn in Boston with these interlocking love stories, and my character sort of lands haphazardly in the center of these love stories via parachute. And she's wedding planning for the first time with very little wedding planning experience, and hilarity ensues, and she learns a lot about love in the process.
Yeah. So Dennis, I was curious about what your approach was as the director here with all this great ensemble of talent you had. Younger, older actors, but you pulled off a lot of different scenes and a lot of different very funny situations. Talk a little bit about what that was like to bring everyone together.
Sort of the biggest deal was assembling a cast that the bankers would say, okay, let's pay for this movie, and I did that, and I have to say I got really, really, really lucky. With Maggie and what's his name? King Batch.
King Batch, there it is.
I got Maggie and King Batch, and we got Jerry Irons and Diane Keaton, and everybody from top to bottom in this cast is like a top drawer pro actor and a great comedian. So it was, except for the fact that we didn't have enough time to shoot it, it was a complete enjoyment for me every single day.
Yeah,
it was like a crowdsourced miracle, this schedule. It was amazing, but it kept us on our toes. It was great. We shot it, was it 26 days?
26 days, yeah.
26 days with that many locations and that size cast. And I mean, it was like this crazy dance. It was awesome.
It was such a funny movie. I laughed a lot. For each of you, which was the funniest scene for each of you?
You don't have to say it was my scene.
I mean, he's just so suddenly smarmy as that talk show host. But I think most talk show hosts are, it really goes to show. I think for me, the most touching is certainly the scene in the park between Diane and Jeremy. I just love. And just the way they start to see the world through each other's viewpoint, even though she's visually impaired. I was so moved by that storyline. And then I think just his persnickety character, put him on salads has become something of a catchphrase in our house.
Yes.
Just the stakes of the table and the way he demotes that guy. Salads.
By the way, when you write, they say you write about yourself. I bought that ruler, that folding ruler. It's 100-year-old antique, and I took it to Burbank, and I spent $600 with an antique restorer, and she brought it up to pristine condition, and I mailed it to Jeremy in England so he'd have it, so he could work with it. And I now have it, and I now use it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
When I set the table, I go, "This is pretty good. I like this." So, but to me, one of my favorite scenes is a scene that I didn't write, but Batch did it, and it's when he goes to the park and there's 100 women with glass slipper tattoos on, and I didn't write any of that. When he goes down the line, I wrote none of it. I just said, you're funny, just start being funny. And so he ad-libbed the whole thing with Mark Wahlberg. All of that stuff is all.
I love the introduction when the what's this called?
Skydiving.
Skydiving. I love how you started off. You just started off with a bang. That's crazy. Skydiving, the disappointment, then the crash at the end in the water. It's just I like how it starts.
Now you guys got to work with a couple icons in Jeremy Irons and Diane Keaton in the film. I'd be curious to hear from all of you a little bit. Give us a moment of working with those two. Like what was something that really stood out to you that you always remember?
My favorite was when my first day on set. I wasn't working. I was in the trailer, and all I hear is, "King Batch, get out here now!" What's going on? And I go out there, and then Diane Keaton just said, "Come here right now. You have so many followers on Instagram. You need to take a picture of me with me right now." And then while we're taking the picture, she's like, "Congratulations on being fucking famous."
Amazing. I mean, I follow you both on Instagram, and you're both way better at it than I am. Like, Diane's really, she's always posting that Buster Keaton. You busted out the Buster Keaton. Yeah. I think the first scene we shot, Dennis, was the scene in the office where my character is really stepping on his toe. Well, she has to. She's taking over planning this wedding, and she's very little experience, and she's not met with a very warm reception from Jeremy's character. And so it was an amazing moment where, I'm terribly intimidated to have this first scene up with Jeremy Irons, who I've watched since I was a wee one, and I'm a little bit terrified as well myself. So it was really perfect. And it was such an interesting scene. I loved it. Just the balance of, everybody's coming from such a different place, but keeping his character, giving him enough space to navigate this new dynamic. He's somebody that is, my character clearly has a lot to learn and knows she has a ton to learn. And his character maybe has a lot to learn about love and staying open and being a little more flexible in life. And he's collaborating with someone new, which he's not very good at. So he's a little bit to learn there. So it was interesting kind of keeping that dynamic open enough so, we still like him. But in this moment, it's tricky. Like he's certainly painting her with a broad brush, and she calls him on it. So that was interesting.
And Dennis, for you?
Well, I was in a movie with Diane like over 40 years ago, and we remained pals throughout all these intervening years. And so I'm really comfortable with her and her absolute eccentric, wonderful genius. She's a brilliant woman and just a wonderful, surprising actress. So I was completely prepared for that. And Jeremy, I just was always in awe of his work, and I was so happy and excited that he said yes. And he and Maggie are two of those kind of actors who challenge you. Doesn't matter how much prep you've done, you've written the script and you've done it, you think you know everything, and they come in and they ask you questions, like legit questions, like what is this? Why is this me? And it they just they always try and find the truth and the depth and the love in every character and in every moment. So Jeremy was that, and he's an imposing guy, and he the weird thing is he keeps his Oscar in his pocket of his wardrobe. Just weird. So just next time you watch
Heavy.
anything, you know, watch him in Die Hard. You know, he's kind of always has one hand kind of behind his back. He's an actor. He's an actor. He's got an ego, and you know, you live with him.